A big portion of my viewership is college age. A lot of you lovely gentlemen and the one or two ladies who actually watch this Oscar Mayer factory of a channel are either currently going to school or maybe thinking about going to college in the next year or two. I'm not quite so old yet that I'm too far removed from my college experience, so on Twitter I tend to get a good amount of questions about college in general, and I do my best to speak to my experience and answer those questions within the confines of 140 characters. But this topic is important enough to me to do a more expanded commentary on it. And I can only speak to my experience, right? Going to college is certainly not the only meritorious life path in your late teens or early 20s. There's the military, there are trade schools that are more specific to a particular craft. There's just plain old-fashioned going to work. These are all worthwhile pursuits. My experience that I can speak to was a 4-year college after high school graduation. And in my experience, college was not only the period of my life where I developed most substantially as a thinker, but it was also the most fun stage of my life. So it was really important not to fuck it up. And for the most part, I didn't. I worked hard, I got good grades, I got the most out of my college experience by developing as an intellectual and forging some of the most meaningful friendships of my life. But I do have a couple regrets. And maybe they're not regrets, I guess, but things I would do differently if I could. And I want to pass those off to you guys in the hope that you might learn from my college experience. More than anything, college is about leaving mom and dad's basement and figuring out who you are. And I mean that primarily in two different ways: academically and socially. Academically, you get to figure out who you are as a thinker. What are the topics that fascinate you? What are the problems that you are most eager to solve? What are the thinking and problem-solving skills that come most easily to you and bring you the most enjoyment? Socially, you get to figure out what you like in other people. What are the qualities you like in a friend? What are the qualities you like in a romance? Who are the people with whom you have the most fun and who complement you and your life the best? Both of these two questions, who you are as a thinker and what you're looking for in other people, are crucial to answer at college if you get the opportunity. I, like a lot of 18-year-olds at the time, thought I knew everything about everything. I thought I knew exactly who I was, and I thought I knew exactly what I liked, and I was convinced that I already had the girl with whom I was likely to spend the rest of my life. These were big mistakes on my part. It was a big mistake to roll into college thinking I already had answers to these questions without taking the time to investigate. And let me tell you how that attitude burned me. Academically, I went to college freshman year absolutely knowing 100% that I wanted to be a political science major. I've always enjoyed the theater of American politics, and I'm a huge data and statistics nerd. So political science as an academic discipline was what and who I thought I would be in my 18-year-old mind. And truthfully, 18-year-old me wasn't totally wrong. I took a ton of political science classes in my underclassmen years and got my major pretty much out of the way midway through my junior year. And I generally enjoyed myself. But once I got to senior year and had the freedom to dip into other departments and classes, I learned a lot about myself and what I enjoy. I took a lot of history classes with a renowned Pacific Northwest historian, and I fell in love with history of the American West. And that's something I didn't really expect and I didn't know about myself. I took entry-level computer science classes and learned some basic computer programming skills and had an amazingly fun time. I loved it, you know, little puzzles of sorts that make you think creatively and solve problems in all sorts of different ways. I had a blast with computer science stuff. The lesson here is that I didn't realize I loved these things, history and computer science, until it was too late to explore them thoroughly. I'm proud to have graduated from a rigorous political science program, and I still don't think I'd change my major if I could do it over, but the point is that I didn't give myself adequate information to really decide if I would have enjoyed myself more in the history or computer science departments, and I owed myself that experience and information. And if you're going to college, you owe it to yourself too. So my advice, do not commit to a major or any particular department until you absolutely must during your underclassmen years. Diversify your course load, take as many different things as possible. Give yourself a diverse experience early so when the time comes to make a decision, you've tried enough different things to pick the one that genuinely makes the most sense for you and brings you the most enjoyment, not the one for which 18-year-old know-it-all you thought you were destined. So that covers the academic portion, and the same principle applies to your personal life in college. Just as I say, don't enter college committed to one academic discipline, don't enter college committed to one person. I went to college trying to stay true to my high school sweetheart, and seriously, that's one of the major mistakes of my life. Throughout my college years, I turned down other opportunities with other girls because I thought I already had the best one.
Don't do that!
It wasn't until later in my life when I gave other girls a chance that I realized the one to whom I was trying to stay committed actually sucked. Later on, I met girls that did things I had never even thought of. Take that how you want. And just like trying different academic departments, trying different girls was the only way I learned that what I thought I was committed to wasn't necessarily the thing I enjoyed the most. It was just a comfort and a familiarity. So if you've got a high school sweetheart, keep her around as your friend. Keep her around for when you're both back home. Do whatever, treat her well, but don't go off to college committed to her. And don't go to a school to try to stay with someone, or let someone go to your school to try to stay with you either. But that's a separate rant. I don't care how committed or sold you think you are on her. Don't do it. Go to college and give different girls a chance. Don't make the Skag 3 mistake. Go to school, talk to smart, cool, funny, cute girls, and go from there. Find out what you like. Anyway, I think I've overcomplicated my message here. Basically, just treat college like a sample platter. Try all the things, and don't go in thinking you already know what you want. I guarantee you don't, because I guarantee you haven't found the best yet. So go find it. I promise it's worth it. Okay, bye!